You are listening to audiobooks at Feel Good Cultivation audio channel. Up next is Immersed in his deep love episode Mo. Chapter Kong all over my social media feeds was Song Jung's livestream. As the youngest and wealthiest individual in nearly 20 years, this was the first time he had accepted a live interview from the entertainment media. Just a few short minutes into the broadcast, he had already dominated the hot searches on major platforms. I experienced some lag before I could get in, just in time to see the female lead, Su Chang, gently helping Song Jungjae adjust his tie. One, dressed in a suit and leather shoes, exuded a cold, indifferent air. The other, in a beautiful and delicate formal gown, looked petite and gentle. No matter how you looked at it, they seemed like an incredibly well-matched pair. The comments section was frantically spamming, a talented man and a beautiful woman. She started from scratch with him, accompanying him to resounding success. Sob. A dreamlike love story is just like this. It's so sweet it's killing me. I heard Su Ching secretly loved CEO Song for a full 10 years. Never leaving his side from beginning to end. It's truly touching. The livestream had just begun, and the host was still asking some professional questions. As it progressed, the questions became increasingly personal. Nearing the end of the program, the host seemed to throw caution to the wind. I heard that CEO Song had an ex-girlfriend he dated for 5 years, who previously disliked him for being poor and left him for someone wealthier. Is that true? Hearing this, I couldn't help but feel my heart clench. The gossip mongers in the livestream chat immediately erupted in a commotion. Damn, if this is true, then that woman has terrible judgment. So foolish and blind. She's utterly hopeless. Is the host crazy? Who asks about an ex-girlfriend in front of the current one? To the person above, CEO Song isn't even flustered. What are you panicking about? Besides, they haven't even gone public. So how can you say Su Ching is his current girlfriend? After a long silence, Song Jungjae replied softly, his tone betraying no emotion. Another host, seeing an opportunity to dig deeper, eyes shining, pressed on. CEO Song has reached the pinnacle of wealth. This is a rare joyous occasion. I wonder if CEO Song would be willing to call his ex-girlfriend to share this good news? Of course, if it's not convenient, then never mind. Alright, Song Jungjae took out his phone. As he opened his contacts, his fingertips trembled. The number of livestream viewers skyrocketed, and comments flooded in. Is this a satisfying face-slapping scene playing out in real life? Now that CEO Song is a tycoon, that gold-digging girl must be regretting it to her core. Oh my god, did everyone see that? CEO Song's veins are popping. I'm so curious. What kind of woman could have hurt CEO Song so badly? The phone's ringtone blared, like a death knell. After we broke up, I hadn't contacted Song Jungjae for 3 years. I never expected him to still hate me. His resentment hadn't faded with time. The system sensed my hesitation and said in a low voice, "Don't you be afraid. I'll take the scolding for you." Okay. I nodded, walked to the sink, and washed the green apples I had bought this morning. On the screen, Song Jungjae lowered his gaze slightly, hiding his reddened eyes. The system pressed the answer button. Song Jungjae's already deep voice sounded even hoarser. I have money now. Can we get back together? The system and I were simultaneously stunned. We looked at each other. The system switched its voice from that of a grumpy old uncle to a gentle male tone and stammered a reply. Ahem. She's washing apples. Do you need me to get her for you? Sorry to bother you. Song Jungjae was silent for a moment, then hung up. The screen filled with question marks. Interspersed were curses directed at me and mockery aimed at Song Jungjae. The system seemed to snap out of it. Hey, I think everyone misunderstood. Should we call back and explain? I shook my head. Never mind. On the screen, the host hurriedly tried to salvage the situation, forcing a laugh or two, his tone attempting to feign nonchalance. CEO Song, were you just kidding about getting back together earlier? Ha ha, that's right. You all saw through it. Ozzy can be quite humorous at times. Su Ching chimed in with a laugh, smoothly linking her arm with the man's. The host insinuated, Trash should be discarded. From now on, CEO Song, you should cherish the person right in front of you. Song Jung-jae lowered his eyes. A faint curve playing on his lips. All right. Chapter not long after the livestream ended. The hot search completely exploded. From a young age, Song Jung-jae had always been outstanding. The perfect model child everyone else's parents wished for. I was the sole blemish in his life. And naturally, a target for netizens to seize upon and sensationalize. Quote, "Damn it, does anyone have that bitch's address? I'm furious. I want to send razor blades to that adulterous pair. Was it really just a joke? Why do I feel like CEO Song was on the verge of tears?" The commenter above is overthinking. He's a top figure. University's once-in-a-century young genius. How could he still be hung up on a malicious, gold-digging woman? Beside me, the system, somewhat excitedly, reported Song Jung's love value. Nam moi hai fan tram. A moi fan tram decrease from yesterday. Within the safe zone, I nodded, munching on a crisp apple as I continued to read the comments. The system, as if it realized something, reminded me again. According to the first law of book transmigration, the male lead cannot fall mo tram fan tram in love with the villainess. Otherwise, the plot would collapse, and I would be sent back to my original world. In my old world, I had no relatives, no friends. My body had even been discarded in the deep forests and remote mountains by the one who caused the accident. Left for wild beasts to devour. Scattered piece by piece, I was as dead as one could possibly be. 10 years ago, after dying in a car accident, I transmigrated into this novel, acclaimed as the pinnacle of secret crush stories. I became the vain and materialistic villainess within it. To survive, I launched an aggressive pursuit of the male lead, Song Jung-jae, who was then still in high school. Every day, I found new ways to express my profound love for him. I witnessed him go from initial aloofness and resistance, coldly telling me to get lost, to gradually succumbing to my charms, infatuatedly calling me Gia, to help me integrate into the new environment more quickly. The system had given me an identity similar to the one I had in my old world, an orphan. I had no parents to provide financial support. After I started university, Song Jung-jae, as my boyfriend, proactively shouldered my tuition and living expenses. Hauling goods, tutoring, busking in bars, as long as it earned money. He would do any dirty or tiring job. He'd even hesitate before buying the cheapest meal at the canteen. Yet, he was willing to buy me expensive skincare products and designer handbags. The female lead, Soo Chang, and his friends repeatedly warned Song Jung-jae, telling him I only saw him as a walking ATM. But the young man would coldly retort, "Why doesn't she spend other people's money? The fact that she only spends my money proves she loves me." We were together for 5 years. I was like a bottomless pit, growing increasingly greedy, draining every last bit of Song Jung's savings. It reached the point where he vomited blood and had to be hospitalized. Without a single penny to his name. During his most difficult time, I turned around and got together with a rich second-generation heir. On the day we broke up, the young man stubbornly pulled out his IV drip, almost kneeling as he begged me, "Gia, everyone says I have great potential. I'll definitely be rich in the future. Can you just give me a little more time?" I paid him no mind. That very night, I went abroad to study with the rich second-generation heir. Lu Feng, the proud, favored son of heaven, cheated of both love and money. Became a notorious laughingstock in their circle. Only Soo Chang never left his side. The female lead's decade-long secret love and unwavering support deeply moved the male lead, causing him both heartache and stirring his emotions. After Song Jung-jae saw my true colors, he finally found the true love of his life. It's a very moving story, unfortunately. I am the villain. Kak Ban Dang Nghe Truyen immersed in his deep-loved Thai feel-good cultivation audio channel chapter. Hi, I thought everything would just blow over. Unexpectedly, someone informed my company boss that I was Song Jung's ex-girlfriend. My boss, afraid of getting dragged into it, found some flimsy excuse to fire me. The so-called rich second generation, Lu Feng, was actually a creation of the system. Artificial intelligence doesn't earn a salary to cover the exorbitant medical bills. My only option was to go everywhere applying for jobs. One day, while I was looking at job advertisements on the street, I suddenly received a call from an unknown number. "Hello, Mrs. Song. Our bar is about to close. Mr. Song Jungzae is drunk. Would you be available to come and pick him up?" I replied, "I'm sorry. You have the wrong number." The person on the other end seemed to understand and said, "Mrs. Song, are you perhaps having an argument with Mr. Song?" I said, "It's really not. Mr. Song is at the Starlight Bar. Could you?" The bartender was halfway through his sentence when suddenly there was a commotion. And the call ended. I called back, but no one answered. Looking up, I happened to see the sign for the Starlight Bar across the street. I crumpled the job advertisement flyer in my hand into a ball. Then smoothed it out again, repeating this action dozens of times, before finally deciding to go over. Pushing open the door to the private room, I didn't see Song Jungzae. Instead, it was another familiar face. "Sis?" Lu Kei looked excited and was about to rush towards me when her boyfriend, Shen Si, stopped her. "Oh, isn't this Chen Li? What brings you here? Aren't you off to have your fun with that rich heir tonight?" Shen Si snorted coldly at me, his eyes filled with unconcealed resentment. "Shen Si, don't talk to her like that. Lu Kei was my junior in the lab. Once, she failed to follow the experimental instructions correctly while operating machinery, leading to an accident. Fortunately, I arrived just in time. Ever since then, she considered me her lifesaver and always stuck close to me. After I went abroad with the rich heir, all of my and Song Jungzae's mutual friends cut off contact with me. Only Lu Kei still frequently kept in touch and chatted with me. After being scolded by his girlfriend, Shen Si became even angrier, pointing at my nose. "Was I wrong? Have you forgotten? It's because of this woman that someone as proud as Jungzae was ridiculed to the point he couldn't hold his head up. Ended up in the hospital countless times, and almost lost his life." Lu Kei looked visibly deflated. Everything Shen Si said was true, she couldn't refute it. During the tense standoff, the door to the private room was slowly pushed open. Song Jungzae, reeking of alcohol, leaned against the doorframe. Droplets of water still clung to his temples. His eyelids were half closed, and his body swayed, looking as if he were about to fall. My body reacted faster than my mind. I instinctively wanted to support him. But Shen Si blocked me again. "Chen Li, get rid of your filthy thoughts. Jungzae already has Qingqing. You're a graduate from H University. After all, can't you maintain some dignity? Even I have my limits." After Shen Si's repeated taunts, I grew irritated and couldn't help but retort, "Oh, is that so? If their feelings for each other are truly that strong, why would they be afraid of me trying to sabotage them?" Shen Si was so angry he stammered, pointing at me, speechless for a long moment. Seeing that Song Jungzae had someone to look after him, I turned to leave, but then I inadvertently noticed on the value meter that Song Jungzae's love value for me was rising at a speed visible to the naked eye. It quickly approached the Tam Moi Fan tram warning line. I had no choice but to turn back. With a mix of helplessness and amusement, I looked at the heavily intoxicated man before me and murmured softly, "You love me that much? Huh? You can't even handle seeing me once without it affecting you like this." Song Jungzae didn't clearly hear what I was saying. He frowned, his mind clouded by alcohol, as if he were only just then registering my presence. "Why are you here?" Chapter Ba. I playfully touched the man's chin, saying with a laugh, "I hired a private detective to investigate your schedule. I came here specifically to seduce you." Tham Tu sneered, and, "I knew it," expression on his face. Luke Ka was somewhat incredulous. Aren't you with Lo Fong?" I replied bluntly, "Now that Tong Chin Tak is so rich, I regret it. I want to be Mrs. Tong." The words had barely left my mouth when Tong Chin Tak's phone rang. It was to Tin calling. Tong Chin Tak didn't answer the phone but stared intently at me. His voice hoarse. "So many people want to be Mrs. Tong. Why should I choose you?" "Tran Li, Give me a reason. Tham too, furious, wanted to rush forward but was pulled back by Luke Ka. Quote, Tong Chin Tak, why are you wasting your breath on this shameless woman? Tin Tin is still at home waiting for you. Tong Chin Tak seemed oblivious to Tham Tu's words. His entire attention focused on me. Looking at the man's gradually bloodshot eyes, I put on my characteristic fake smile. It's alright, if you give me Nam Tram Neen a month, I can live harmoniously with the other Mrs. Tongs. Besides, I already have Lo Fong, so neither of us loses out. Tran Li. Tong Chin Tak's voice seemed to be squeezed out from between his teeth. I blinked, pondered seriously, and then said, if Mr. Tong thinks Nam Tram Neen is too high, Bon Tram Neen is also fine. My looks and figure aren't bad, any lower wouldn't be reasonable. Tong Chin Tak's body visibly stiffened, and his gaze shifted from vague expectation to an inscrutable gloom, as if he could lunge forward and tear me to pieces at any moment. Suddenly, he raised his fist. I instinctively closed my eyes. But the pain I imagined didn't come. A gust of wind brushed past my ear. Tong Chin Tak's fist slammed straight into the wall behind me, fresh blood dripping to the ground. His soft laugh sent a pang through my heart. Tran Li, I must truly be insane to let you trample all over me like this. Again and again, I watched the love value rapidly decreasing on the control panel and let out a sigh of relief. It was 3 in the morning when I got home. The system had already prepared medicine and warm water for me. Hey, Tong Chin Tak's love value fluctuated wildly today. Did you meet him? After taking the medicine, I nodded. The system materialized into human form, kindly handed me a piece of candy, and carefully tucked me in, deftly taking my wrist, where my fingernails had dug in deep. The system carefully applied ointment for me. Li, your condition is getting worse. I think you should see a psychiatrist again. I didn't answer, just curled up in the soft blanket, sighing wearily. Lo Fong, truthfully, I really wished his punch today had landed on me. Maybe that would have been better for my condition than taking medicine. The system quietly turned off the lights and turned on the white noise in the room. Author's note: white noise is basically a series of sounds that helps people sleep better. Ladies, after a long time, as I was drifting in and out of sleep, I heard a very faint, I'm sorry. In the evening, I went to the karaoke bar to work as a waitress. As usual, because of my condition, most companies wouldn't hire me. Having no other choice, I could only take this part-time job, the highest paying one I could find. After I changed into my uniform, I had only carried the fruit tray halfway when someone suddenly grabbed me from behind. Turning around, I saw a very drunk man staring at my collar. So white. As he spoke, he took out a wad of cash from his wallet, intending to stuff it into my blouse. This wasn't the first time I'd encountered such a situation. But Lo Fong was always there before. Lo Fong could shield me. Today, Lo Fong had gone back to headquarters to report on his work. Ever since I got sick, my mind felt like a rusty machine, operating very slowly. I was still debating whether to smash the fruit tray over that fat man's head or across his face. A second later, the fat man's hand was stopped in midair by someone. Kak Ban Dang Nghe Truyen immersed in his deep love Thai feel-good cultivation audio channel chapter Bon, Lu Feng. I happily looked up, but after seeing the newcomer's face clearly, I froze. Mr. Song, I apologize. I truly didn't know she was your girlfriend. The portly man apologized profusely, seeing Song Jung's cold, murderous gaze. He was so terrified he fled. I never expected to meet Song Jungze here. I didn't even need a mirror to know. I was wearing a revealing uniform and heavy makeup. I must have looked incredibly tacky at that moment. I turned to run, but Song Jungze grabbed my wrist. What? Are you so disappointed to see me? I said nothing. He asked coldly, why are you doing this? Doesn't he care about you? It's just a job. As long as there's money. It's fine. Lu Feng doesn't even care. So why are you getting so agitated? Mr. Song? Song Jungze not only didn't release my hand, but his grip tightened. A cold smile played on his lips. His dark eyes deep and unfathomable. HMPH. So money is all it takes? I just wanted to leave quickly. So I gave a perfunctory nod. Immediately after, Song Jung's kiss descended upon me unexpectedly. I pressed my lips together tightly, resisting in silence, but he grabbed my chin, forcing my mouth open. A warm hand supported the back of my neck. The fruit tray crashed to the floor, making a sharp, clattering sound. Song Jung's movements halted. Desire and reason warred in his eyes, so intense I dared not meet his gaze. He tried to press closer, but I pushed him away with all my strength. I gasped for breath, the corners of my eyes growing moist as I struggled for air. Song Jungjae feared my tears more than anything. Every time I cried, regardless of what had happened or who was right or wrong, he would abandon all else. His mind solely focused on how to console me. Even now, though he and I had reached this state, upon seeing me cry, Song Jung's expression still betrayed clear panic. The manager, hearing the commotion, rushed over and immediately grasped the situation. "Mr. Song, this new girl is clueless and has spoiled your mood. Let me call someone else for you." "There's no need." Song Jung's gaze was fixed intently on me. My colleague, understanding the cue, winked at me. Li, tonight, just hand over all your work to Xiao Li. Your only job is to focus on entertaining Mr. Song." "Manager Wang," I interrupted, unable to believe my ears. "You've misunderstood. Besides, I made it clear before. I don't work night shifts." The manager's smile froze, though her tone was light-hearted. Every word dripped with threat. "What nonsense are you spouting? We just signed the contract a few days ago. What, you want to breach it before you've even earned any money?" I stood there, stunned, my eyes involuntarily drifting towards Song Jungjae. He despised me so much, surely he would reject this mistaken arrangement. But Song Jungjae said nothing, merely watching my plight in silence. 3 years ago, I too had stood tall, looking down condescendingly as he knelt before me. Only now, our positions were reversed. The penalty for breaching the contract was exorbitant, far more than I could afford. I had no choice but to silently accept this arrangement. My uniform was soiled by the fallen fruit tray. When I came downstairs after changing, Song Jungjae was leaning against his car, watching me quietly. The emotion in his eyes was so intense it seemed about to spill over. It left me unable to distinguish whether it was love or hate. For a moment, I felt a sense of unreality. During our university days, no matter how busy he was with part-time jobs, Song Jungjae would always come to the lab entrance to pick me up and walk me back to the dormitory on time. Back then, he didn't own a fancy car, or even a single decent set of clothes. The Moi Chin-year-old Song Jungjae had treated me like a precious treasure. He would even cautiously ask for my permission just to hold my hand. After I was grazed by an electric scooter and fell, he had blamed himself relentlessly, swearing that once he had money, he would absolutely buy a car just for me, so I wouldn't have to endure the harshness of the sun and rain anymore. At that time, I had even added, still fuming, "It has to be a Ferrari. Painted pink, truly eye-catching. Then let's see who would dare to bother me again." Chapter Num. Now, I was actually sitting in Tong Chin Tak's pink Ferrari, but I only felt constrained and uneasy. In the car, Tong Chin Tak didn't say a word. He rolled down the car window. And on the road, many people looked at me with envious eyes. I sincerely sighed. The life of the rich is truly blissful. Tong Chin Tak said nonchalantly, "Sis, if you had been willing to wait for me back then, all of this would have been yours." I awkwardly touched my nose and said nothing. The atmosphere fell silent again. Only Tong Chin Tak's phone continuously received messages from Tham Tu, Tong Chin Tak. A woman like Tran Li, who'd do anything for money. What exactly does she have over Tin Tin? Why do you keep rushing in to be humiliated by her? Isn't that enough for you? She's a degenerate, who likes being groped at karaoke bars. What does that have to do with you? You went to save her. And not only is she ungrateful, she probably secretly cursed you for being a fool. Wait, Tong Chin Tak, I get it now. You're deliberately trying to get revenge on her, aren't you? The latest message had just arrived. Tong Chin Tak had blocked Tham Tu. his expression turning very grim. So, had Tham too hit a nerve? But whether it was for revenge or torment, I didn't intend to run away. I owed Tong Chin Tak far too much. Whatever I could repay, I would, bit by bit. The weather was dry as the seasons changed, my throat was sore, and I coughed lightly a few times. Tong Chin Tak stopped the car at the food street next to H University, went straight to a milk tea shop, and bought a rock sugar pear drink. Seeing the familiar scene before me, I couldn't help but get out of the car. When we were in love, I had spent all of Tong Chin Tak's savings. Whenever his wallet was nearly empty, the delicious and affordable food street became the place he and I frequented most for our dates. From one end of the street to the other, we had eaten at nearly every stall. Every step I took evoked countless memories. I loved to eat, but I ate very little, usually. I would only take a few bites of each dish, and then give all the rest to Tong Chin Tak. Around the time of graduation, the thing I was most reluctant to leave behind was this very food street. I even pouted and whined to Tong Chin Tak, saying that in the future, we absolutely had to bring our children here to eat. But not long after, I changed my mind, declaring I didn't want to have children. That childbirth was far too painful. Tong Chin Tak had to simultaneously help me revise my graduation thesis and coax me through my erratic emotions. But he never showed a hint of annoyance and even earnestly comforted me. If you don't want to give birth, then we won't. I can go get a vasectomy. Last year, while I was abroad, there were rumors that this entire food street would be demolished. I was heartbroken for a long time. I couldn't eat or sleep properly, and I became so haggard that it drove Lo Fong to the brink of madness with worry. Lo Fong even wanted to take the battery out from his body to transfer energy to me. However, looking at it now, it seemed the food street not only hadn't been demolished, but even its entire layout was exactly the same as before. Li, the woman selling roasted sweet potatoes, suddenly called out to me. It really is you, Li. I was also somewhat taken aback. Auntie, didn't you go off to work as a nanny? Why are you back here now? She smiled radiantly. You silly child, wasn't it your husband who offered a high salary to invite me back? What, didn't he tell you? Huh? What husband? I looked at Tong Chin Tak, who was buying milk tea in the distance, feeling utterly confused. Some time ago, there were rumors this street would be demolished, so everyone moved away. It was little Tong who went from door to door, inviting everyone to return, telling them that you two had gotten married. He even gave everyone wedding candies and a substantial amount of money, instructing them to continue their businesses here. I was completely stunned. Auntie, does he come here often? The woman nodded. More often than you'd think. Sometimes he comes 3 times in a single day. Little Tong always said you were busy with work and didn't have time to visit. Today, I finally get to see you at last. Kak Ban Dang Nghe Truyen immersed in his deep loved Thai feel-good cultivation audio channel chapter Sao. She spoke with a sigh. Li. The TV is full of nonsense. Talking about some Su Ching Su Yin. Don't pay too much attention to it. I can tell that Young Song truly likes you. He carries your wedding photo everywhere. As she spoke, she took out her phone. Look here, I even secretly took a picture. See, isn't it beautiful? On the screen was a photo of me and Song Jungjae in a wedding dress and a suit. The photo was very realistically edited. If you didn't look closely, you couldn't tell. It was hard to imagine that every day, Song Jungjae carried this fake wedding photo while strolling alone on the food street. Everyone thought he was blissfully happy. But in reality, from beginning to end, it was only him. Tears fell onto the back of my hand. WeChat notified me of a new message. I opened it. It was from Lu K. Quote, you, Shen Si can't get in touch with Song Jungjae and is about to go crazy. He keeps insisting on coming to find you. I've stopped him. You, I know you're actually a kind person. Shen Si is too. He's just terrified. That year, after you left, Song Jungjae almost died in the hospital, which left him traumatized. Don't blame him. He's a straight guy. He wouldn't understand the feelings between you and Song Jungjae. You, there's something else I've always wanted to tell you. Actually, back when Song Jungjae was on the verge of death, I told him to try to get better. Earn money quickly. And once he had money, find you to rekindle your past love. That's why he found the will to live. You. Song Jung-jae might seem insincere usually. But he truly loves you. Loves you more than his own life. Why did you get out of the car without a coat? Song Jung-jae's voice came from behind me. The man handed me a warm cup of pear juice. Shielded me from the wind. And there was a hint of anger in his furrowed brows. Don't you know you get sick easily? I turned off my phone screen and blurted out, Song Jung-jae. Let's get back together. The man's pupils contracted. What did you say? After blurting out those impulsive words, I realized I couldn't actually be with Song Jung-jae for a lifetime. His love for me would eventually turn into sharp knives stabbing me. That would be too cruel to him. At this moment, I suddenly felt incredibly envious of Su Chain. If only I were the female lead, how wonderful that would be. No need to worry about anything. No need to care about anything. Able to bravely be with the one I love. But even as just a supporting female character, I wanted to live for myself for once. I calmed down and rephrased. Lu Feng is away on a business trip recently. During this time, do you want to be with me? Chen Li, what do you take me for? A secret lover you can't acknowledge? Or some amusement for when you're lonely? Song Jung-jae curled his lips in self-mockery. Walked past me, and headed straight forward. Neither. It's just that for the coming period, I want to be with you. Will you agree? I grabbed the hem of Song Jung-jae's shirt. Our eyes met, and this time, I didn't look away. Perhaps, I had always been wrong about one thing before. Ultimately, is living more important? Or is happiness more important? If living to 100 in torment and suffering, then it would be no different from being under another curse. If a choice causes extreme suffering for both people, then, isn't that choice a mistake? The long, drawn-out wait had eroded my little remaining courage. I was just about to let go, never mind. But Song Jung-jae took a deep breath and grabbed my hand. Chen Li. I really deserve to be tormented by you for a lifetime. That night, the pink Ferrari drove straight to Song Jung-jae's private villa. The car was going so fast that my palms were drenched in cold sweat. The villa was very large. Very empty. Chapter Bay. Only when I got closer did I realize that Song Jung-jae had moved all the belongings from the rented house where he and I lived together during our college days here. The somewhat old-fashioned arrangement looked a bit out of place amidst the luxurious and magnificent villa. Yet it was strangely harmonious. I intended to buy back that rented house. But unfortunately, I was too late. The land was cleared, and many belongings were lost. I could only salvage this much. Song Jung-jae hugged me from behind, his warm hand brushing past my waist. 3 years ago, in this very bedroom, the most intimate thing he had ever done was to secretly kiss my cheek. Quote, Song Jung-jae, I'm not ready. I evaded his hand and turned to face him directly. But I want to. Song Jung-jae's gaze and tone were both very direct, making no attempt to hide his desire. He pressed his entire body towards me. Sister. Didn't I tell you? Don't regret it. I felt things were progressing too quickly and pushed him back again. No. Song Jung-jae. Not now. Is it because of Lu Feng? Sister. Do you really like him that much? Do you like him? Or do you like his money? If you like money, why not choose me? I clearly have more money than him. I was immediately speechless, unable to reply. Song Jung-jae's fingers suggestively caressed my wrist, his hoarse voice whispering in my ear, Sister. I'm very curious. Where exactly did that wound on your wrist come from? What are you enduring? You like me, don't you? Sister? You don't like Lu Feng. The person you like is me. Song Jung-jae's face seemed naturally gifted with the ability to bewitch people. I almost fell for it. Fortunately, I managed to retain my composure at the last moment and evasively asked back, Song Jung-jae. Are you that starved for affection? The man remained silent for a long while, then bit into my collarbone punitively, gnawing like a wild dog. To divert my attention, I opened the love value panel, silently watching the numbers change. Tam moi lam fan tram. Tam moi bay fan tram. Chin moi fan tram. Faster than I imagined. Someone who can't even hold onto their own life. What right do I have to talk about love? The way wealthy people love is indeed different from ordinary people. I posted on social media complaining about being bored at home. Song Jung-jae immediately cancelled a meeting and took me to the top floor of the tallest building in the city for steak. Someone was playing the violin live beside us. The piece was The Butterfly Lovers. I pretended to ask casually, Song Jung-jae, what if I die someday? What would you do? Song Jung-jae clearly wanted to avoid this question. Why are you suddenly thinking about this? I persisted. What if I really die? You won't. As they say, only the good die young. After saying that, Song Jung-jae placed the steak he had cut in front of me. Every piece was fresh and delicious. I tried my best to eat. But in the end, there was still a lot left. What a pity. Can we pack this to go? Song Jung-jae raised an eyebrow. If you want to eat it, you can come back anytime. But he didn't know. Perhaps I wouldn't have the chance to come back again. After finishing the steak, Song Jung-jae made a phone call. I was drowsy and half asleep when he took me to gaze at the stars on a vast grassland. Lying in a comfortable and clean tent, enjoying the advancements of modern technology while appreciating the pristine beauty of nature. It was only then that I realized Song Jung-jae was helping me complete the list of things I wanted to do during college. Eating steak on the rooftop of the tallest building. Stargazing on the grassland. Next, if I remembered correctly, was going to Provence, France, to see the lavender fields. Then buying an asteroid and naming it after myself. These youthful fantasies, I had almost forgotten them. Especially after getting sick, my memory had severely deteriorated. Unexpectedly, Song Jung-jae still remembered such trivial matters and was trying to fulfill them one by one. Kak Ban Dang Nghe Trian immersed in his deep loved Thai feel-good cultivation audio channel chapter Tam, you. Song Zhenzi's hands began to roam restlessly over my body. Actually, you don't like money that much. These past few days we've been together. You've never actively asked me for a single penny. I replied matter-of-factly, you take such good care of me. Providing for everything from my food and clothing to accommodation and travel so meticulously that I have no place left to spend money. No, you used to love buying designer bags and the latest phones. But after buying them, I rarely saw you use them. Compared to designer bags, a hot roasted sweet potato makes you happier. You've misremembered. I explained awkwardly. That's because I was happy on the inside, it just didn't show on the outside. But in reality, I liked them a lot. If it weren't for those bags and luxury items, why would I have agreed to be with you in the first place? After all, you were so hard to pursue. And so cold. Song Zhenz didn't refute it. These past few days, he had been persistently trying to make me admit, with my own mouth, whether I had ever loved him. It was almost an obsession. Afterwards, we had an unspoken understanding and didn't bring it up again. I didn't want to change my bad girl image in Song Zhenzi's heart. On one hand, I wanted the love value to increase a little slower, so I could stay by Song Zhenzi's side for a little longer. On the other hand, if the date truly came when I had to leave, he would suffer a little less when he found out. I gazed at the stars until I was tired. When I turned around, I found Song Zhenz staring intently at me. I had no idea how long he'd been looking. I mimicked him, staring back without blinking. You, what should I do? I want to kiss you. Song Zhenzi's Adam's apple bobbed. His gaze averted as he tried to suppress the burning desire within his body. Ever since I had made it clear that I didn't want overly intimate contact, Song Zhenz had always been respectful, even if he had to endure it until midnight and take a cold shower. He no longer forced me. But this time, I was the one who proactively leaned in and touched his pale pink lips. Song Zhenzi's eyes darkened. You. That's not how you kiss. Then you teach me. Our rapid heartbeats mingled with the sound of the wind outside. Inside the tent, the heat from our bodies intertwined. After we finished, Song Zhenz held me with satisfaction, kissing me here, caressing me there, as if he could never get enough. Towards dawn, in the dead of night, the man finally fell into a deep sleep. I called out his name in a hoarse voice, Song Zhenz. Goodbye. The only response was his steady breathing. I glanced at the love value meter one last time. suppressed the discomfort in my body, dressed myself neatly, and prepared to catch the earliest flight. After returning from the grasslands, Lu Feng rushed me to the hospital before he could even say a word. I had a high fever that wouldn't break. I went to all the major hospitals and tried all sorts of specialized medications. But nothing worked. 98%, Lu Feng muttered, repeating the love value. Li, how did this happen? You were only gone for a month. I tugged on Lu Feng's sleeve, comforting him. It's normal. Song Zhen's and I were together for a month. This progress can already be considered quite slow. Lu Feng wore an expression of utter disbelief. Li, why would you do such a thing? For no particular reason. I like him, so I wanted to be with him. Lu Feng paced around frantically. But if this continues, it will be very dangerous. Going from Chin Moi Tam Fan Tram to Mo Tram Fan Tram could happen in an instant. Is doing this really worth it? Lu Feng, look, I rolled up my sleeve, revealing my fair wrist. During the time I was with him, even without medication, I no longer had the urge to harm myself. I was truly happy. Lu Feng, I've lived 2 lifetimes. I know what's most important to me. I just hope that if I encounter another conquest mission next time, I won't be a supporting female character again. And even if I am, I hope I don't meet someone as good as Song Zhen's. Otherwise, I'm afraid I won't be able to stop myself from falling in love with him all over again. Chapter China. A few days later, the time I spent sleeping grew longer and longer, gradually exceeding the time I was awake. Waking groggily once more, I softly called out, Lo Feng. What answered me was chaos. To Tin's eyes were swollen. Tran Li, you're really enjoying yourself lying here. Chin Tak has been looking for you like crazy. Do you know that? What? I rubbed my eyes. To Tin opened the hot search on her phone. She clicked on the first video, titled, Tycoon Tong Chin Tak neglects work, wholeheartedly searches for lover. Stock prices plummet uncontrollably. Seeing him cast aside his dignity and give up everything for you time and time again. You must feel very smug, don't you? I don't. When I saw the hot search, I was genuinely stunned. Towards the end, I had tried to leave a bad impression on Tong Chin Tak. Unexpectedly, he still couldn't let go. I suggested, you should deceive him. Tell him I've gone abroad to find Lo Feng. To Tin gave a bitter laugh. Do you think I haven't tried that? But he doesn't believe it. Not only that, he firmly believes that when you left him before, it wasn't because you were after wealth. No matter how Tham Tu and I tried to persuade him, he insisted that you love him. It's truly laughable. You clearly never said you loved him. You weren't even ever enthusiastic or cheerful with him. I wearily closed my eyes, not knowing how to respond. To Tin's emotions grew increasingly agitated. Why on earth is that? You clearly didn't have to give up anything. You clearly hurt him so deeply. Yet you still received Tong Chin Tak's complete trust and love. And I've secretly loved him for 10 years. Yet I haven't received a single glance from him. I tried to sit up and persuade her. To Tin, calm down. You are the female lead. Your blessings are yet to come. Just then, Luke Ka's voice came from outside the door. Who said she didn't give up anything? The hospital room door was pushed open. Tong Chin Tak, Lo Feng, Tham Tu, and Luke Ka all walked in. As soon as he entered, Lo Feng quickly pulled To Tin away from me. Sorry Li, I wasn't careful enough and let To Tin in here. I stared in astonishment at the crowded room. The moment my gaze met Tong Chin Tak's, I guiltily lowered my head. Luke Ka rushed over, her face filled with distress, tears streaming down. Sister, with such severe depression, how did you manage to get through it on your own for the past 3 years? Tham Tu also awkwardly bowed his head and apologized to me. I'm sorry. Sister, I misunderstood you before. I looked questioningly at Lo Feng. He shrugged. Li, I've told them the whole story. After speaking, Lo Feng showed me the love value meter. Li, look at this. The love value had reached Mo Tram Fan Tram. But I was completely fine. I even felt the energy in my body gradually recovering. Lo Feng said with a hint of pride. Li, while I was away on business, I discovered that the female lead, To Tin, had orchestrated online public opinion to attack you. She also deliberately leaked your information to your former superior, causing you to be fired. These malicious actions, when combined, although not major crimes, seriously deviated from her character setting. The superiors decided to strip to 10 of her female-led status. But I looked up in confusion. What about the love value? For this, special praise must be given to the male lead. Lo Fong slowly added, before I revealed the story's plot. Tong Chin Tak always believed in your love for him. And from that, he deduced the existence of the system. Because the male lead's influence in this book is so dominant. Once the male lead awakens, the plot will no longer be controlled by the system but will be handed over to the characters themselves. Therefore, Li, you are no longer the villainous supporting female character. In Tong Chin Tak's heart, you are his female-led. Naturally, you will no longer be affected by the love value either. In other words, I wouldn't die, although the love value no longer had a restrictive effect on me. But the fevers and convulsions from the recent period had still caused significant damage to my body. Following the doctor's advice to rest and recuperate quietly, Luke Ka and Tham Tu reluctantly left the hospital room. Lo Fong was also summoned by his superiors to report in detail. For a moment, only Tong Chin Tak and I remained in the room. I had just sat up when I was enveloped in a warm embrace. My dear, I love you. I hugged Tong Chin Tak back. I love you too. No need to worry about being the supporting female character. No need to worry about my life being in danger. The feeling of being able to freely express my love was wonderful. The day after I was discharged from the hospital, I went to see a psychologist. She happily told me that my psychological condition had healed, and I wouldn't need to come anymore. After that, Tong Chin Tak and I took real wedding photos, replacing the fake one in his wallet. On the wedding day, Lo Fong made his final appearance before everyone, happily announcing the system's new regulation. From now on, any world he takes charge of will end the constraints of the plot. The future story will be written by the characters themselves. You have just finished listening to episode Mo of the audiobook, Immersed in His Deep Love, at Feel Good Cultivation audio channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe to get the latest updates. Thank you so much.